the Corolla. Last episode was quite messy. I was saturated, sand everywhere, but for the most part, the engine bay is in bare metal, which is great. So today, I'm going to concentrate on preparing the area for the cowl to go back on. So there's a couple of holes I need to weld up, a few spot welds I need to grind down, mix up a bit of epoxy, spray it in there because I won't be able to get to it after I've welded. Well, I can get to it, but it's just going to be a bit awkward and stuff. So I will spray some copper weld through primer on the areas that are getting re-welded back on first, mask that up so that doesn't get covered, and then coat the majority of the area that I'm working on there in epoxy just to seal it all up. And if overspray finds its way on it, it's not going to react if I use a 1K aerosol etch primer, kill rust type of product. I sort of want to keep everything compatible with each other, so that's why I'll stick to the PPG/Protec products that I'm going to be using. So let's get stuck into some work. I'm using an air-powered right-angle die grinder. The great thing about these is they are great for getting into tight spots. They allow you to finesse the repairs and have a bunch of different attachments available. I really like using these because I can concentrate on the area I need to, unlike a normal size grinder where if you aren't careful, they can take off material around a repair where you don't want it removed. I'm using a clean and strip disc with a roll-lock backing to clean up the welded area of all remaining surface rust and paint to ensure great adhesion of the weld through primer and the plug welds. Now I grab my MIG welder and weld up all the holes from being overzealous with the spot weld cutting drill bit. Now that the welding is complete, I'm back to the trusty right angle die grinder. This time I've got a mini flap disc and it makes short work of all the welds. I can't forget the underside of the panels that are going back on. Using the same methods, I'm using the clean and strip disc on the right angle die grinder. Perfect for this job because it's small and it can get into all the crevices. I clean all the surface rust from the areas that are going to be painted. Who doesn't love a good stripper? Using paint stripper, I'm going to remove all the original paint from the braces. I then cover the parts with some cling wrap, which stops the stripper from evaporating. And look at it wrinkle. I removed the cling wrap and look how easy the old paint comes off. Being paint stripper, you also have to neutralize it, so I'll wash the items in water before getting to my next stage of buffing it up nice and clean. Okay, so the two pieces that need to be welded back onto the car are paint stripped, metal conditioned, and ready to have the weld through primer put on the mating surfaces. And once I complete that, time to mask up the mating surfaces and spray some epoxy primer on the underside, just so it's nice and protected from the elements, sealed off, and it can go onto the car. I've masked off where all the spot welds are going to be, or the plug welds, sorry, and here as well. The idea is that epoxy will go on, this part. Epoxy will go on this part, and where the weld through primer is, it won't get covered, so I don't need to worry about cleaning up the hole before I weld it. And my theory is if the epoxy is, the primer is too close to the weld, it might overheat and bubble or catch on fire. So I've just given the plug welds a bit of buffer room around, so when the molten metal is doing its thing, it's not really going to affect the primer. It might a little bit, but better than nothing. Better than two bare metal panels being welded together with no protection at all. Anyway, so moving on. Okay, viewers and followers, the part of Matt's engine bay refurbishment, which required a more methodical approach or more thought from me, is done, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'll just run you through. So we've got the parts that I've unpicked so I could clean up the seams, get underneath, clean up the items, and where it's going to be spot welded or plug welded back on is got some weld through primer, and the parts that aren't going to have any welding is 2K epoxy. I'm using PPG Epotec 408, and same over here. This part, it's going to be relatively hidden anyway because it's underneath the scuttle panel, but I went with 2K epoxy. I could have used sort of like White Knight 1K enamel, or POR 15 or KBS, but I don't know. I just, because there's going to be there's going to be PPG paint over the top. I didn't want it to react with a different type of enamel, especially the stuff that you get from spray cans and whatnot. It's always a bit of a grey area for me. So as you can see, I've done this on purpose because it's going to be wet. Anyway, take my word for it. I've done that on purpose, so when that brace gets welded on, it's a little bit more protected underneath here. I'm going to try my absolute best to sand it for some good adhesion. Worst case scenario, it'll look decent. It'll be better than factory, trust me. Or don't trust me. I reckon it will be. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with that. Just gotta let it set for now, and then I can come back and plug weld it on, and then prepare the rest of the engine bay. Give it a couple more rounds of metal conditioning, prepare it for epoxy, and I'm probably going to go wet on wet with the high build primer. Let that set for a couple of weeks, whatever. If the weather's good, then hopefully a week. Then I can start block sanding it down and getting it ready to put some paint. But maybe before that, whilst it's in high build primer, Matt and I might need to do some mocking up and stuff. So anyway, there we go. That's good for now. Whee! New day, let's weld these bad boys on. Of course, the first couple of tacks was making sure that my welding settings are right, but other than that, off we go. What do they say? The sound of frying bacon? Speaking of frying, if you're working this close to a firewall, make sure that the flame retardant lining inside the cab hasn't caught on fire. Ask me how I know this. Oh man, look how fast I work. Eat your breakfast, people. Plus you'll see me use a light source as well. This is to make sure that I'm actually welding up the hole and leaving no little pinholes. Last thing I want is for moisture to come through that little area and cause me troubles later on. Well, actually cause Matt troubles later on. Once I give this car back, I'll never see him again. call it a plenum. Success, so the plenum is all welded in, which is great. Same with the strut braces, all the undersides, all in between the seams are all cleaned up and primed as I've showed you throughout the video. So yeah, pretty happy. What's left now is obviously to put the whole engine bay in epoxy primer and just before paint, seam seal my repair there just to make sure that it sort of looks, you know, factory fresh. And yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoy the progress on the KE10. I'm enjoying the process of doing the work and filming and editing. It's actually been pretty fun. Yeah, it was good to get the welder out today and you know, it was a bit of a welding marathon and grinding marathon, but you know, hey, I've got all these tools and just a very small amount of, you know, knowledge and experience in this field, so I've got to put it into practice. If you're enjoying the build or you like what you see and you haven't already, then please consider subscribing. It will really mean the world to me, and I'll continue to bring these sort of videos out into YouTube land. Give the video a like or a comment if you like. I read all the comments and I like to hear what people have to say. Other than that, until next time on the KE10 Corolla, thanks for watching. Cheers. See ya. Far out. The sand goes everywhere.